I'm extremely sad that I didn't hold tight to the commitment. I feel like, which I'm sure many divorced people feel like, a loser. It's just like in this day and age, it's easy. It's easy to give up, to change your career, to change your life, to change your man, to change your outfit, to change your makeup, change your hair color, change my nails, change your gender. You know, change. It's easy. It's easy, easy, easy. It's very hard to make a commitment and stick with it no matter what. And get help.
Getting divorced today is real easy.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not sure if it was easy 20 years ago or 40 years ago, but it's very easy.
$75 for the divorce kit.
to get divorced, and it's not really a moral issue anymore. It's just, hey, let's get divorced, it's not working, let's go. And because it's rampant, and at least it was back in the early 80s when we got divorced, it was real easy to get divorced. And I don't think people think of the long-term, if they have the compassion, I don't think they can think of the long-term hurt that it does on people. And not just the two people involved getting divorced, but on kids, on family, on friends.
Well, you're into yourself. All these divorced families, you know, the husband and wife are they're divorced, they hate each other, they don't realize what they're doing to their children. You know, the children are the ones that get the most effect. And John and I promise each other with that.
Obviously, there are many other types of problems which crop up in a marriage besides communication and a lack of commitment. You could have a physical abuse situation, severe financial problems, or maybe even that forbidden S word, shh, sex. Maybe your personalities are just incompatible. For the sake of argument, let's say that you've decided that divorce is the only option open to you. What can you expect? Trust me, you can expect a world of hurt.
There was a very interesting study done by Judith Wallerstein that showed the effects of divorce actually grow over time in the lives of children. She did the only study of its kind. She studied 60 families over a period of, I think it was 25 years. And she examined these children and followed them into adulthood and found that the impact spans 3 decades. The entire developmental period of these children's lives are impacted by divorce. Creates conflict in their own relationships, leads to a greater chance of child pregnancy, teen pregnancy, lower educational achievement. It affects their total self-esteem as a result. And it's not like others had said previously that, well, you know, they get over it in a couple of years. It actually follows them into adulthood and affects their relationships with their spouses, which in turn affects the relationships with their children, and it becomes a perpetual cycle. We've got to break that cycle.
Procedure is that you file a petition for dissolution. That's just simply putting the court on notice that there is going to be a divorce proceeding. The petition alleges that the marriage is irretrievably broken. If there are children, it alleges one party or the other is going to get custody, and that has to be served on to the other party.
We're looking at a domestic dispute situation. We're getting information from both people and their perspectives of what is actually the truth, which can be miles apart, and they're both correct, possibly.
I think there's a lot of things that the law could do to help with this, a lot of these problems that we as attorneys face, because basically what happens is we heat up the battle. We have people come in to us and basically right off the bat the children are placed in the middle. As much as you say you don't want to do that, everybody's done it. I myself has done it in my divorce. I mean, that is your tool, and so you use it.
The judge wants to know exactly what all the assets consist of, all the liquid and non-liquid assets and what their values are. And then the judge wants to know what all the debts are, secured and unsecured, and how much the debts are, and also what the parties' respective gross incomes is. And then he or she, being the judge, just divides everything up based on a lot of different things, primarily what the parties' incomes are.
The importance of preserving the safety of children And I think many times in the past, based on it's my child or pulling the child in two different directions with two different partners, has caused some serious physical damage and injury to the children. So hence the laws come about to help prevent, to be kind of proactive at preventing serious injuries to the child.
This is where I feel that the biggest damage is done. Because it's emotional, there are mistakes done legally. Whoever makes the mistake first pays for it. Whoever's able to capitalize on the mistake makes it somewhat unfair for the other person. What happens is the children end up suffering. Children get caught in the middle, where their affections are split between mom and dad. They're confused. They end up as the losers. They're the ones that end up emotionally with emotional problems later on.
Well, divorce is a very selfish thing. It always has been. I mean, a divorce is you're giving up on yourself, or you're giving up on the person you've been married to. You're giving up on the marriage, and that's a very selfish thing to do. I don't think they're thinking about whether it's hurting the kids or not. And after the fact, they will probably, in most likelihood, what I have seen from friends who have divorced, is they make sure that the kids feel that it was the other person's fault that the divorce happened. So they never take the blame that they created any of that. It's always the other spouse's problem.
If someone is sitting in front of me and it's going to be a contested situation, I'll ask for $3,000. It goes into my trust account. I charge $125 an hour out of court, $150 an hour in court. I do not make contact with the other party because it's a conflict of interest for me to counsel both parties in a divorce, so I won't do that. I won't even have them in my office at the same time. I prefer if the other party gets an attorney as well.
In my case, the law was there to help me a little bit, but it was basically money that won it. I was able to keep funding my battle that ended up costing over $20,000 to get what I truly wanted. I ended up winning, if you want to call it that. I don't think there's ever in a custody battle a winner or a loser. The only winners are the children, when both parents realize that the fighting needs to stop, and together they need to share their time with the children, because that's what's going to be best for the children.
I tell my prospective clients this, that if they don't settle this case, that the only people who would win would be the lawyers, including myself, because I would get paid to fight the case. Sometimes for a contested case to be completed, it can take a year. The longest one I've ever had, I think, was almost 2 years. And they would spend anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 on me in order to fight the case. So yeah, I tell many clients, if the situation is there, that the only people who are going to win if we go any further past this point, are me and the other lawyer.
Need help in a divorce dispute? Call 1-888-800-JUDY.
Mrs. Leventhal, you want to know something? I'm giving you the money that you're requesting for your orthodontic work, $3,300.
Thank you,
I'm telling you that if you want to help your children, you'll go into some serious...
We are in counseling.
You, not them. You will go into some serious anger management therapy because
I have been through it. Thank you.
Because your problems are so deep-rooted. And I'm not saying that you don't have cause. And I'm not saying that he was a great husband. I'm not saying he was a fair husband. Maybe he was a lousy husband. Mm-hmm. You are going to destroy your children unless you get it together. I am dismissing your counterclaim, sir.